All right, welcome back here, everybody, to another great show, Locker Room Sports Show number 272, live and in the house. I'm your host with the most, Big Matt. Diamond Dean I think he's on location in Puerto Rico, checking out some preseason baseball stuff for the Braves, so he may be in there working on his tan. Now, to open the show off, we'll talk about USA and Canadian hockey. USA breaks out with a fight. I mean, as soon as the puck drops, within 9 seconds of the game starting, there were 3 fights. The brothers were threw out. Miller guy, he gets thrown out. They booed us during our national anthem. I think that just set the boys' butts on fire. They got fired up. USA wins 3-0. Wow, what a sport maybe to look into if you're looking for some sports action and a little bit of boxing to go along with it. And the boys were just not putting up with it. We're just being disrespected like that. Just not going to boo us during the national anthem. So shout out to USA hockey. They just come out there and just beat the crap out of Canada. I mean, it's the only thing they're really good at. And we just owned them in it. Wow. So shout out to those guys for standing up for the old red, white, and blue. Also, we're going to talk about college football model. An NFL model what do you college football fans want? We got a comment section right there, podcast listeners. I'll leave a question there and tell us, do you like this playoff setup or not? I mean, we're going to get 12 teams one more time. Then we're going to get 16 teams. Is it better? I mean, is that really where we're at? Is that what we're wanting to do, as a product? We're going to look at some TV ratings numbers of where the national championships games were. Michigan, Coach Harbaugh wins one against Coach DeBoer, Washington Huskies and Penix and them. So, and we're going to look at the Super Bowl numbers and see where they are. And I'm going to tell you something that probably a lot of you is not going to want to hear. But, I mean, the numbers don't lie, and it just is what it is, okay? Now, college hoops actions, laid it out there in the section. Did the Alabama and Auburn game, did it live up to the hype, guys? I mean, hit the comments down there, say, Matt, I love the game. It was intense. Bama tied it up once, stayed within 3-6 most of the game there. They'd come down to tie it again. They'd miss threes. So did it live up to, if you're older, like, my age, if you're 40, into your 40s and older, and you remember some of those old North Carolina and Duke games, did this game feel as exciting as the rivalry of this game? Or I think it may hurt it some because both the schools don't just play basketball. Does that make sense? Now, I know Auburn's had, they've been bad football for several years now. But, overall in general, they're known to they have a football team. Where Duke, North Carolina's not. And everybody knows the history of Bama and what they've done in the past, I don't know, whatever, 30, 40, 50, 100 years, So I think that may take away from it some a little bit. So hit the comments. Tell me what you think about the game. Did you like the game at all? I mean, if you're an Auburn fan, I'm sure you enjoyed the win. Been able to go to Tuscaloosa and get a win. Bama fans, I think most of the Bama fans that I coinhearse with, there were some that picked Bama to win. I did not. I had Auburn winning by 5 or 6, something like that. And then that's about kind of the way it turned out, so pretty much. And I think a lot of Auburn fans, realistic ones, they didn't seem too pressured by this game. They're like, well, if we lose this one, because, just over history, Bama's about 30 games ahead of Auburn in the series. And I think Auburn just felt like, if we lose this one, it's no big deal. We'll split and we'll go home and we'll definitely get that one. It's not a big deal. They got the seed out there for the Midwest, and we'll go into that and talk about that too for the Southern. And Bama's won in the Midwest, but I think but most Auburn fans just kind of, felt if it did, it did, but we'll win at home. And it's not it's not the end of the world. I felt as a Bama fan that I don't think their team's really that good. They don't have any star power on this Bama team, and I'm going to comment and just tell you what I think about the game overall up front. It went as I kind of expected it to. I was surprised. I'll give you surprises for both. One surprise for me, a positive surprise for Bama, they rebounded better than I thought they would, okay? Now, Broom had, 12, 13 rebounds, something like that. He's going to get his. He's a good player. I was surprised. Wow, okay, Bama come out to that first half. They were owning the rebounds a lot, especially, I think, offensively. They were kind of owning the boards on that, and that kind of surprised me because we know Auburn, they play defense. They're better than Bama at defense. Bama's not going to play much defense. They're top 15 in they're just not real good at defense. So that was probably a positive wow, okay. And for Auburn, the wow, for me was for them. They're an efficient shooting team, but they don't have to score, 85 to 90. They don't have to. They did against Bama because they play good defense. I like how Auburn plays. I like the scheme of the team better for Auburn than I do Bama. I do. I'm just telling you the truth. I can be a fan of one team, but I'm not stupid. I know the game, and I can tell you what I like. And I kind of like overall how they play. They number one. I don't have a problem with it. Sure, let them be one. Because for me, it's March. That's where things really, come to push to shove. So the really wow for me for Auburn was Bama's was rebounding. The positive, and for positive for Auburn, wow, was like, whoa, bro. Did they come out 10-0 up? They just come out hitting threes. It's like, you know what? We are going to do what they do to people. We're going to come out, and I'm sure they probably practiced it or worked on it some, and they just going to start thinking like, we're going to come out and hit about three or four threes and just see what happens because we know we're going to need to max them right off the bat, right out of the gate. Hey, good game plan. Clap it up for Coach Pro and his staff. They anticipated what was going to happen. It didn't happen because Bama, good Lord, man. 19% on threes. Not winning a game. You're not beating number 21 on 19% for threes. For Alabama, because that's how they play. So, no, they're not winning that game. They played poorly, very poor. Now, if they would have shot 30, 40%, they would have won the game. But they did not. Because they're just not real good, man. Bama's a roller coaster basketball team. But Auburn coming out, that was the positive for them. Thing I didn't kind of see coming. They come out and pop the shots and thought we're gonna match them. We're gonna match them. Bama comes down, bong. Auburn goes down 3, bang. Bama goes down 3, bong. You gotta give credit to Auburn for playing defense. But man, it's not like they were they were not blocking 3-pointer shots. They blocked 5 or 6 shots down in the paint. But they're not blocking their threes up in the stands. A lot of those threes were not contested. More was open than was contested. There was late in the game, they come down several times, and Sears was like 2 for 12. In the last 5 minutes of the game, he could have, went ahead. They just wasn't their day. Okay? So, now the negatives for what did I not like about Auburn? What did I not like about the play or something they did? Before half, guys, look, we went to half. This is why, to me, it didn't live up to the hype. And I give one example, maybe because Auburn and Alabama have football teams, and and Duke, North Carolina don't. Maybe that's involved with it, but maybe they're not known to be blue bloods of college basketball. Kentucky's the SEC darling of basketball, like Alabama's the SEC darling of football. It's just what it is. That's just the team that we've seen in the forefront win the most. And Auburn won the SEC last year and then failed miserably first round and just come in there not paying attention. But they took a cold spell. Okay, Auburn did. Right there before the half, man. I mean, we went to the half, and, we're looking at percentages and stuff, and I think Bama was shooting 34% in field goals percentage at the half, and Auburn was like 35 or 36. This is supposed to be 1 versus 2. And it just did not – I don't know. There was some bang, bang, back and forth, but, man, there's some of that game, man, for many minutes. I mean, Bama went on a 10-0 sweep there towards the spot, to pull back close. It just they missed shots. They were like Broom misses like 2 or so, 3 maybe right there before half. Like layups under the goal. Bama did too. Nelson missed some, and not Cliff, but the other guy. Just right under the goal. I mean, I say Nelson missed 4 or 5. I mean, he just jumped right at the goal and just rolls off the front of the rim. That did not look like 1 and 2 in a lot of that match. I mean, it just didn't. It just didn't. And I'm talking about both teams. I'm not taking up for either team. So did it live up to the hype? No, not for me. It's bad. I'm going to go through these stats, and I'm going to say this first. As bad as Alabama shot, they're just a shooter team. They're hot. They win. If they don't hit, they lose, which makes sense. You got to score points to win because they're not going to play defense. It's just not what they do. The Alabama fans, you're just going to have to keep yelling at the TV because the players have rocks in their shoes, and they did better last night. They had some, created some turnovers. But for the most part, they're the Golden State team when Klay Thompson and them played LeBron and Kyrie at Cleveland, when Cleveland beat Golden State that year. Those year or two, Golden State, that's Alabama. Auburn is more balanced. They can come out and be hot and shoot sometimes. And Jake Crane said they can play any team about any way. I could pretty much go along with that. But those spells sometimes that they have, which is just part of the game. They just have spells like all teams do. I've seen UConn's do it, and the teams that's won it before, Purdue's and those old Louisville teams. You have times in games you hit lulls because the guys are just not going to run and gun and play all night. They're going to have times they're going to take a break and kind of lay back a little. But Auburn seemed to handle the waves a little better. Bama's just so ride and up and way down. Then they're up good, then they're way down. They're just so unpredictable. There's no continuity to how they play. And that's why Auburn won. That's a big part of it. Emotions have a lot to do with it. Yes, some of the Auburn players like to talk more. Broom talks a lot and flexes and does that stuff. I don't like that stuff. Getting other players' face, forearming in the mouth, forearms in the back of the neck, grabbing guys and dragging them out of bounds. He got threw out of – but CMB is at Auburn or CBM, Baker Mazzaro, what I'm talking about. That's just kind of him. And these guys are fighting on the plane. They're fighting each other. I mean, what do you think they're going to do on a court against a team that they've been told is their rival, which for some of the guys, they're not even from the state. Like Sears is from Mobile, from, Bama. But like Clifford and some of the other guys, Bama's got, 6, 7 seniors. Auburn's got 10 seniors or so. Some of these guys don't. So we're talking about the Iron Bowl. They don't. It's not like that. Like it is for a lot of people that talk crap to each other on the page. I get on there and just talk trash and troll and aggravate people. We grew up here. We understand it. So here's the layout. Let's see. Broome played 33 minutes, had 19 points, 14 rebounds. That's what I expected. Sears played 31 minutes. He had 18 points, 1 rebound. But here's the kicker. I got some little kickers here. I've circled. Sears had 2 assists. Okay. That's not good. That's recipe uno luso. Okay. I don't like that. Bama 19.2% from the 3-point range. We talked about that. Fell. When they were down 3, they were 3 of 12 for threes. They could have come down and tied this game. They were down 3. They missed 3. They hit only 3 out of that 12, and they tied the game up there at one point. Auburn 19 for 21 on free throw line. Sears missed 3 free throws. We know here did not shoot good. There's another check out Luzo. Let's see. And Auburn opened up on a 10-0 run there. We talked about that. Start the game. Boom. Big surprise. Turn your eyeballs looking. Everybody, hey, we're going to match Bama. We're going to come in and shoot. We're going to get this thing hot. And we're going to match them. Except Bama forgot that they were playing a game that day. The fans showed up, and they were okay. Didn't think it was really a great basketball environment. They were just excited when the team was up. But other than that, they didn't seem to have an effect on Auburn at all. I didn't. The crowd, I didn't notice them that much in the game. I just didn't. It was a little. If I had to grade it, it was a C plus. I think people there, but I didn't think it was that big a deal. I didn't think the fans added to or took away anything from the game. Bama tied it in on a 10-0 run. We talked about 7 minutes left. Good game. It wasn't really back and forth. Once Auburn jumped to that 10-0 start, that was kind of it. They would get within tying, or they'd be within 3 or 5, and they'd go down, and they'd be within 5. Or say 6, they'd get a layup. They get fouled. So now they're only down 4. Well, they missed one layup. Missed one free throw and hit another one. So now they're winning 3. They go down, boom, Auburn hit a 3. They're back up 6. And then Bama comes down, shoot a 3, bong, miss. It just wasn't their day. Sears was 2 for 11 late in the game there we talked about. Now, you need one. You just got to have more from him. Oates talked about this. He said he had to have more from him. He did only have 2 turnovers for the night. Talking about Mark Sears. He's a graduate. He's already graduated. I think Bama's got 3 guys on the team that's graduates. Him, Nelson, and Cliff, the big red dog. Now, here's a note here that I wanted to make. And this is kind of a big standout thing, and then we'll move on. To beat an older group that Pearl's put together, this Auburn team has very well experienced guys. Okay, a lot of seniors. To be able to beat them, you can't just do the basic things and expect to beat a good team. You have to do a little more. If you want, they're giving a little extra. They come out and lit up the 3 points. Well, you got to do the same. They didn't match Auburn's intensity. Auburn come out ready to play. They looked focused. They looked they had a plan. Here we are. We're ready. It's the game. The Clemson Bama game where Clemson just beat the dog tar out of Bama that day. They were ready. Dabo said we had a day every week of practice. One day, a Bama day. We spent 30, 45 minutes on just little things all year. They were ready. Bama looked tight. The moment was too big. They couldn't settle down. They had shot so well against Texas and hit all those threes and scoring over 100. And I told people Texas is not. That's a warm-up game or something, bro. You can't. Auburn's going to play defense. That's why they don't have to score a lot. They're not a big scoring team. They're efficient in their scoring. They don't have to score a lot because they don't have to. Bama does. They have to score. Bama had to score 90. They're going to have to score 90 to be able to try to win this game. So those are just some kind of notes that I took and kind of my overall feel of the game. So to be able to give that more and to hang in there and play with a team like that, you've got to match the intensity. And Bama just did not. They just didn't, man. You can be a fan of that team and tell yourself whatever you want to tell yourself, but facts are facts, and it is what it is. Now, when they play again at Auburn, it'll be very hard for them to win there, but I don't see them beating Auburn there either. I mean, if they play like this, they're going to lose. They got a tough road here ahead of them. Okay, they do. They're going to lose some of that Florida, Tennessee, somewhere late down there before they play Auburn again. You go in there and just go to sleep against Missouri. A&M's good right now too. You know, I mean, this late stretch at Auburn that Bama's fixing to play, it's going to be very tough. It is. It's going to be hard. So, total rebounds, Auburn had 40, Bama had 49. That's a good check for a win. They out-rebounded Auburn, really? That surprised me. I'm still surprised by that. Auburn had 6 blocks to Bama's 3, what I'd figure. Bama turned the ball over 7 times. Auburn turned over 4, probably about what you expect. 3-point percentage, Auburn 40, Bama 19. If you would have told me before the game started, Bama don't even shoot 20% on three-pointers. Well, who are they playing? Who are they going to play? Playing Mobile Eastwater College. I don't know if they'll win that game. Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat anybody. 19%. Come on, man. 5 for 26? Who are you going to beat with that? Piggly Wiggly Meat Department over there? No, come on, man. Auburn's 12 for 30 on threes. That's pretty good. You can live with that, man. You can live with that. Field goal percentage, 46% for Auburn. Bama, 39. It was like 38.6. And some of that is Auburn played defense on. They made things hard for them. And Sears is running in the lane and just falling down and just throwing up stuff, hoping it goes in, hoping to get a foul called, and they're not calling fouls. Whatever Sears done or whatever he's done something, he's peed some refs off. He's not getting fouled. I've seen him get pushed down, I'm for sure, twice. Just absolutely going lane, just shoved down on the floor, no call. Even and I'm just telling the ones that the announcers verbally said, wow, I think that could have been a little right there. Pushed him on the floor. Okay? So you're not going to do anything real good with 39% shooting right there for field goal percentage. Now, Bama had 8 assists. Auburn had 13 assists. So that tells me, going through these stats again, Auburn's moving the ball around. They're playing as a team more. Broom had some times there. They were giving him the ball coming down. He was just trying to put the ball in the hoop. And he struggled. He struggled some. Now, later on, he opened up some. They figured out a way to manipulate and how to adjust. I thought that was a little pragmatic, maybe a little there for Auburn for a little while. They got down 36% on their field goal before half. And Brown was missing stuff. He wasn't assisting the ball, and he went up swapping that out, and they did wind up getting some assists. So he adjusted. 13 for Auburn, 8 assists for Bama. But, the point of the game is 19% on three-pointers. That's just not going to work, bro. Not going to work. All right. Yes, and I'd like to shout out to Warrior Gym and Tanning. Thank you, John, for being part of the sponsors this show. We do appreciate you guys. Call John over at Warrior Gym, and I'm gonna put their thing up right now on the page, and give them a shout out, and go there and see about a yearly membership. Well, that went bad real quick. Warrior Gym and Tanning. Okay. Thank them for sponsoring the show. Just put it up on the page right now, and you can get over there. And he's got some new cardio stuff that's come in. He's cleaned out we got a whole new room completely over there to the side, and so go over there and check them out, and give John a call. It's 256. It comes up here as 484, but it's not. See, put the new one up there. So we'd like to appreciate him for sponsoring the show. 266-4333. Call John, 266-4333. Just go on Facebook and find him. You can see pictures. He's adding stuff on there. Just share the link on the page. So, Warrior Gym and Tanning, find the warrior in you. Now, hang on just a second here. Just 1 second. Hang on. Okay, welcome back here. Locker Room Sports Show 272. Took a little ad break right there. Again, shout out Warrior Gym, 256-266-4333. Find them on Facebook, Warrior Gym and Tanning. Now, show 272. Guys, we've talked about Auburn, Alabama game. Did it live up to the hype for you? That's up to you. Comment down in the section. Tell me what you think. USA Hockey. They go out there and just beat the brakes off Canada. Physically, mentally, and just every way that they could. And our last spot here, before we wind up here, we're going to get off here. Yep, it's about where we want to be. 35 minutes or so. Jeff Anderson, what's up? It was 2026, the big dance, expecting to 78 teams for NCAA basketball, Jeff says. You could be right, Jeff. You could be right. West Georgia Wolves were winning D1 basketball game yesterday. Their first. Yeah, Dean's Chattooga Indians will be playing in state. I think they're going to playoffs. And they may run into like Temple or some of those teams, and which are supposed to be pretty good. So good luck to them. I think they play, what did he tell me, Tuesday or Thursday. So college football fans, what do you want? What are you looking for in college football? And what have we seen this year? Are you looking for an NFL model? Because that's kind of what it is. It's just kind of pro football now. Is that what we're doing? Is that kind of where we're at? Now, here's some statistical analysis. College football, does it want to be like the NFL? You know, money models and adding teams to this to make it a 16-team playoff. 16-team playoff. I don't like it. I like the 4-team playoff. I did. I had no problems with it at all. Here's the thing. The college title football game, we're just going to get numbers. College title football game, podcast listeners, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Cast. We want y'all's opinions on this too. Podcast is a big part of the show. We started out just doing podcasts, and we're still on podcast every week. 27.7 million views for the college title game. Iowa State, Notre Dame. And here's a fact. I wrote that down so I wouldn't forget it. 27.7 million views this year for the title game. Ohio State winning their first title in several years. Super Bowl had 127 million. Now, the math on that tells me we'll just say it's a quarter, being 25 cents. So how many quarters does it take to make $1.25? Well, it'd take 5. So 5 times more. Many more. 100 million more views for the Super Bowl. Matt, why are you telling me that? Well, because people say that the committee thinks that it's just better we need to have Indiana's and Boise States and those mediocre teams in there because it gives them a shot. Well, we also hear that NIL is going to even things out to where other teams can get some of these players and difference in the portal and, guys can move from like guys are going to move from LSU as a running back and they're going to transfer and go to South Alabama from LSU. No, the portal's made for, I've used him example before, I used him again. Fluff Bothell played Oneonta, went to South Alabama, showed out, good freshman year. He's at Mississippi State now. It's for those guys. That's what we cheer for in college football. That's what makes college football more relatable because it so closely involves young men, and we're cheering for those guys to be good, people love success stories. And adding those teams like Indiana's, Boise's, SMU's, and then come to see that they just get beat. It's not evening things out. It's not. That's not how any of this works. Because facts are, the Super Bowl has 100 million more views. Well, there's more NFL fans than college fans. Okay. All right, you may have me on there. Jeff, look it up. Give me some stats on that. Is there more college football fans than Super Bowl fans than NFL fans? Higher populated areas, we're just going to be scientific here. I mean, my degree's in history. But I did take statistics, and I can do some math. Higher populated dense areas such as New York's and Dallas's and San Francisco's. Ooh, wow, wait a minute. New York Jets, Giants, Dallas Cowboys, Arlington area there, and San Francisco 49ers. Okay? We had the Chargers and we used to have the Raiders out there in L.A. California's had a lot of NFL play in their state. So I would, I could go along with that. Somebody says, well, Matt, there's just more NFL fans. Probably so. But here's a fact for you. College football fans, do you want the college to be more like the NFL? Is this what you're looking for? Do you want those 5 times more views? Well, you'd have to make the model more like it to have more fitting teams. So you're probably going to have to get rid of. So you're going to have to change divisions up. And some of these less than teams, like in the SEC, that hadn't won it, if you ain't won the SEC in 15, years or so, 20, you may. Okay, let's take Bama out. Okay. But the number of teams under there, like we just added Texas and Oklahoma, and we can't count them. Texas did play for it. And they couldn't beat a ranked team. And the more bigger junior popularized areas, you do have more people with pro teams. You just do. So you're going to have to make it more of an NFL model. You're going to have like an AFC, north, south, east, west, and an NFC. So you're going to have basically a 2-division league that you could do it with 4. But now the Pac-12 is trying to build something back up. So what do you do with the less than teams What do you do with them? Maybe Mississippi State is on the come up. Them and Auburn were terrible this year. And we know Auburn's recruited well this year. So we're looking to see how they can come back and get back involved in the SEC and be part of the football. But 12% decrease from last year's college title game. Michigan, Washington. Harbaugh, boom, wins one, takes off, gets out of Dodge. DeBoer takes the job at Bama, plays the first year fairly nearly with his tight end coach helping. He brings his old buddy Grubb in to call offense. 12% decrease. So 12% people less watched Ohio State and Notre Dame than Michigan and Washington. Bro, when's the last time Washington's played in anything? Now, in the 20s and 30s, you go back and study some old college stuff, and I've read books on Bama. They played Washington, back in the day. But two teams like Ohio State and Notre Dame, man, you would just figure, good God, man, wouldn't they have more fans to watch than Washington? And now Michigan is a blue blood college football team. They hadn't been relevant here in a long time, but they are, okay? They've won titles, Hall of Fame coaches and Shem Beckler and Woody Hayes and the rival in Ohio State and all that, and about 12% from last year. The NFL had a 3% increase from last year. College 12% down, NFL 3% up. So college ADs and stuff are having their meetings at the end of the years, and they're looking at this after Super Bowl and going, what did we miss? You can say there's no rigging in the game. There's stuff that goes on that prompts some teams to be kind of – it just does. You can believe what you want, and you can think that the guy on the grassy knoll never existed. He did. JFK wasn't shot by one guy. And there is some rigging that goes on in college football. There's some type of things that happen. It happens in all games, high school too, especially when you get money involved and kids now. 12% decrease for college, 3% increase for NFL. Matt, what is the thing? So you talked about divisions, Matt. You brought that up. How we have to change that around, make it more like NFL to get that increase. What if it's the teams? Who do we talk about when they pick these teams to go? Did you notice that in the media? I'm just talking about media, and I'm part of the media, but I'm not, ESPN media, or I'm not high on the scale like Josh Pate, which he'll be on here in just a little bit. Great show. Love Josh Pate. Bootstraps guy, come up from mill work, Southwest Georgia, to making it. Crane boys like them, enjoy their content. They're Auburn homers a little bit too much sometimes, but that's okay. I mean, their daddy played there. They're entangled in that. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I appreciate their professional opinions. They did coach some, and Dave there played at Michigan. He obviously knows college football, and I'm saying their opinions, but I'm bringing up them. That's probably who I watch the most. I don't watch ESPN. It's garbage. There's some good guys on ESPN I do like. These groups talk about the teams that don't get in the most. That's the ones that get talk. So, Matt, what are you saying? I'm telling you that people like to see, they love to hate now. It's like, reality TV changed everything. MTV, the real world, and people want to see fussing and bickering. It's like Notre Dame and Ohio State was just kind of the easier picks of the bunch. Why was Super Bowl up more? It's Kansas City. They're going for three-peat. Matt, why was it up 3%? Why? Because people wanted to see not just Philadelphia win. I did, and a lot of people I know did. But I'm telling you, it's not just the Philly fan base and they are a huge fan base. And shout out to them for winning it. We did a cover on them. I did a spell on that last week. They tuned in to see Kansas City lose. Go back and look at some of those. We could pull up some numbers and look at Bama, Clemson, those years and years they played. People wanted to see Bama lose. Even some of the Bama's own fans were sick of seeing them win it. They were winning it so much. It's just how people are. So I think putting in these certain teams that get in, the whole idea that I started this conversation with, Indiana's, SMU, Boise's, it's fun to talk about and write it on paper. And what a story. Ashton Genty's going to come in. He's going to take the rushing record, and he's probably going to go late first round. Probably middle. I don't know if he even goes 20, maybe. I'm just saying, people like this. We're going to get off here in about 3 minutes. Think about this. Comments, hit it. Like, subscribe. Podcast listeners, appreciate you guys. Tell a friend. Probably be back on. See how the news goes Tuesday or Thursday. See how this works out. People want to root against the team. That's why these ratings are up. Who was really rooting against or for Notre Dame? It was just kind of boring. People just expected Notre Dame to win. They had the staff. They had the right guys. They paid a lot of their guys to stay. They had a good senior group. That's what you do. And they bought a corner. They bought Downs. They got them a quarterback come in. They could have kept their other quarterback and probably won it too. Howard was good. They got Junkins to come in from Ole Miss, paid him a little cash. They got two awesome wide receivers. Their offensive line, they paid those guys to stay. Defense, they paid a lot of those guys to stay. Okay? So what I'm saying is, why are these numbers what they are? College rating, 27.7 million views, title game, Ohio State winning it. People expected to win. They didn't have nobody to root against. Because you kind of like the Rudy story, and Notre Dame ain't been in so long, and, you kind of like the coach, and, it's fun to watch, and seems like a good guy. He answers questions the right way. Nobody's rooting against Ohio State or Notre Dame. But those years you go back and watch Bama's games when they were playing for the titles, people love to root against the Tide, and it's going to bring views. They want Alabama to lose. So these teams people are tuning in and watching. They're not tuning into the real world to see who goes out on a date with some girl or Jersey Shore. And they tuned in to see Snooki get plastered and fall out in the bar somewhere and make an idiot out of herself. Or seeing Paulie or Mike or whoever, or the other guy, Ron or somebody, get in a fight, outside the bar. They show a clip of him tussling with somebody, and then the boys arguing about a girl, and then it's like tonight, and then they show clips, and they want to see that. They don't want to see just the sitting around talking and stuff. That's not how it works. So adding more teams is going to make that worse to me. You're just watering it down. You're just putting more teams. Don't make it better. Those blue blood teams, the Bamas you love to hate, you want to see lose, that's what fans want to tune in to see, bro. That's how it is. That's how you get the numbers up. Not adding 16 teams. I just don't think, that's just my opinion, and that's what I think. And that'll be a wrap for today. And appreciate y'all for coming by and hanging out here, our hour show. 272 in the books. What a great show. And I'll be back next week to have some more news for you guys and some interesting conversation. I love just having locker room talk, just bringing up stuff like this and seeing what y'all think. Hit the comments down there. Jeff, always good to see you on here. What do you got to say, though? Reading a couple of articles, it appears it is branding. NFL is more national and college is regional, true. Even though viewership has increased over the past few years, college trails NFL 5-1. There you go. Huge, great point. It's marketed. The big city areas have the money to market this stuff. And until we fix the money situation, and just throwing money at players to buy players to come somewhere, not them coming and making NIL deals because they've created their own name. They've created some value to themselves by playing. What value have you created by just walking into a gym and signing your name and somebody dropping you a bag of, $1 million? There's teams right here around here that do that, has done that. They bought a bunch of players. And I'm not sure how it's all going to work out. But Auburn, Alabama basketball, did it live up to the hype? I don't know. You tell me. I don't think it did. Good game, Auburn. They were the better team. And we'll see how this turns out. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. We can talk about that. And go USA hockey. Just knock some people's teeth out. Okay? It's pretty good. Good show, guys. Appreciate you. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Podcast listeners, appreciate y'all. iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Applecast.